Here are the drills that I'll be covering in this lecture: walking and skipping drills. I will also be covering rhythm drills, scooting drills, and then finally I will be covering the walking attack drill, quick step drill, and the hurdle hitch. So for this first drill, you want to make sure with the trail leg, you do not allow it to reach out in front of you, because that's bad. We want everything going down the track. So make sure that when your kid does this drill, their trail leg comes high and tight through and back underneath their body. The second thing is make sure when they lead into the hurdle that they're not barely driving their knee up. They want to segment this hurdle as if they're going over it. So they want to lead with the knee, high knee, to keep them forward. The third thing, make sure that their arms are not crossing their bodies. You know, once their arms cross, they're in the danger zone. So focus on them punching through the hurdle as they lead with the knee. And lastly, make sure that their toes are dorsiflexed on both legs, lead and trail. For the initial segmented drills, you want to make sure that you space the hurdles 4.5 feet apart for younger athletes and 5 feet for the older athletes. You're doing this early on because you don't want them reaching for hurdles. This is how you initiate the rhythm of hurdling into your athletes. On these walking drills, make sure that you're focusing on the 4 components of great hurdling. Be active with your arms, and make sure that you complete these drills on both sides. Another thing that you want to emphasize is the 1, 2, 3 of the arm swing in between the hurdles so that they understand how it feels to run in between even though they're walking. So there will be several things that you're looking for during this drill. Obviously the 4 components, making sure that their arms are active in between, that their arms are tied to their body, that their shoulders remain square while they're doing the drill, meaning that their shoulders and their hips are always facing the direction that they're going, and that their hips stay tall while they're pulling their trail leg through the hurdle. You will notice that all of the athletes are using their arms actively in between the hurdles. Some you may want to emphasize that they need to pump a little quicker so that they're not moving so slow, but you want them to get used to moving their arms actively even when they're walking through these drills. Same idea with your lead leg. Lead with the knee, lead with the arm, step over the hurdle, and then get that foot back to the track. Now here you have the same idea as the trail leg, but the only difference is here with the lead leg, you want to really emphasize as the knee steps up, it needs to drive straight down back to the track, which actually propels them forward to the next hurdle. With the skipping drills, you still want to emphasize the 4 components. The only difference is it's a little more rhythmic, but it's the same idea. Execute, execute, execute. Now for this drill, you're still looking for the 4 components: tight arms, making sure that their body is square, and rhythm. Now this drill can actually be done with or without resistance, as you see here. And same thing, you want to pull that trail leg high and tight and get it right down underneath your hips. And the key, as always, is to make sure that that lead leg is popping up first as you're pulling your trail leg through the hurdle. skipping lead leg is the same idea as a skipping trail. Only difference is you're driving that lead leg knee straight into your chest, and then you are stepping down over the hurdle. You're going to complete this on both legs. Really look for that knee driving into the chest and the step down over the hurdle. Do not allow them to reach. This drill can also be done with or without resistance. Really pay attention to the athlete's lead leg. As they drive the knee up, they're driving it straight back down, which is pushing them forward to the next hurdle. The next drill are rhythm, trail, and lead leg drills. Now when your athletes get to the point where the traditional walkovers are getting a little easier, then you want to open up the hurdles a little bit to give them more of a challenge, to give them more of a rhythm, and to allow them to start attacking the hurdles a little better. The distances between these drills, for younger athletes, the hurdles are 8 feet apart, and for older athletes, they are 10 feet apart, so that they're not cutting off their steps and that their rhythm is continuing through to the next hurdle. What you're looking for is rhythm, quickness, and that the hips are moving through, as I just said. This drill looks like a skipping A drill, but what you are looking for is the trail leg to come over the hurdle, high and tight, 4 components, back to the front into sprint position, and they're going to get that foot right down under their hips, moving to the next hurdle. Just as every drill that we've talked about so far, you want to make sure that they complete this drill on both legs as well. The rhythm lead leg is the same exact idea as the rhythm trail leg. The only difference is they're driving that knee straight up into their chest, over the hurdle, right back down into the track, getting that foot under their hips. Scooting drills, lead and trail, are drills that I typically only give to my high school or beyond kids because it's just a different aggression in the drill. So for this drill, the hurdles are either 10 feet apart or 15 feet apart, depending on if you're doing the 3-step version or if you're doing the 1-step version, as I'll show you now. Here is the 3-step version of the scooting drill. As you can see, it's a 1, 2, 3 trail leg, 1, 2, 3 trail leg, and you continue that for the amount of hurdles that you have for your particular drill. These are 15 feet apart. And for the 1-step version, it's just a little more aggressive. 1 step, push through to the next hurdle, active arms, and you're looking for the 4 components of good hurdling. And the same idea for both the scooting lead 3-step and 1-step. You're looking for that knee to drive aggressively into your chest and then step down aggressively under your hips. The next drill is called walking attack drill. This is one of my favorite drills to teach any hurdler, whether they're beginner or elite. This can be done either over the top of the hurdle or it can be segmented on the side. The hurdles can be 8, 10, 12, or 15 feet apart depending on what you're doing for that day. So what you're looking for in a walking attack drill is obviously the 4 components. That's what I'm going to beat into your head from here on out. And you're also looking for an aggressive cut step. Now what is a cut step? A cut step is where the trail leg pushes under the hips before ascending into the hurdle. So what does that mean? That last step before your athlete takes off into the hurdle, they're going to really put it under their hips, which is going to push them through the hurdle. As you can see here, her foot gets directly under her hips, which pushes her to the hurdle. You want them to really emphasize that step going into the hurdle. Here is a segmented version where the athletes are only going over the side with their lead leg. The next drill is Quickstep drill, which is another one of my favorites because this is the drill that transitions every hurdler into becoming a sprint hurdler in the hurdle races. This drill consists of banana hurdles, which are 8 feet apart, and it can be anywhere from 6 to 12 of these banana hurdles. Now, what you are looking for in this Quickstep drill is rhythm, a controlled quickness. You don't want them to be out of control while they're doing it, no matter how fast they're moving, and their posture. You're looking for those 3 things in this drill. This drill can also be completed with or without resistance. So if you remember me saying in the beginning, a lot of kids have problems 3-stepping because they don't really use their arms. This drill teaches them to use their arms while keeping their posture good, and as you can see, you'll see some differences in all of the athletes that you're witnessing now. And finally, we have the hurdle hitch. Now, the hurdle hitch consists of 3 different versions. There's a regular version, a segmented version, and an extended version. The distances between the hurdles really don't matter. It could be random, or if you want to have a distance, it could be anywhere from 8 to 15 feet apart. What you are looking for in this drill is you want to make sure that your athletes are running off of the hurdle with their arms, that they have a very explosive trail leg when they are taking off from the ground, that they pull it high and tight, it comes all the way back to sprint position, and they drive it under their hips. If your athletes are doing this drill correctly, it's going to literally appear as if they're pushing themselves forward to the next hurdle. This is the traditional hurdle hitch. They're going to rain dance, then hang the lead over, pulling the trail leg through, driving it down. As you can see, if you really pay attention, you'll see that as they pull their trail leg through and drive it under their hips, it literally pushes them forward. This is the segmented version of the hurdle hitch. They're just simply going to hang their lead leg over the side of the hurdle and pull their trail leg over the side of the hurdle. Same idea applies, high and tight, running off with the arms, driving that trail leg back to the ground under their hips. And finally, the hurdle hitch extended. This drill is the same idea, but this really teaches them to pull that trail leg through and run off of the hurdle. Now, you can either set a hurdle up after the hurdle hitch, or you can simply have the athletes run off of the previous hurdle.